Well, howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho here. Before I get too into it, I just wanted to take a moment and thank everybody that watches my videos, also everybody in my community that supports me. Obviously, I do not hurt nor do I want for work, and I greatly appreciate all of the referrals that I get for both vehicles and small engine work and whatnot. And so, yeah, I greatly appreciate it, guys, for keeping me busy, because most importantly, it helps me feed the 4 kiddos. So thanks everybody that supports me and watches out for me and all that other good stuff. All right, let's get to it. So here I am making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho. Today I'm looking at a Chevy Corsica. This is going to be a 1994 Chevy Corsica with what I call the infamous 3100, a well-known 300, 400, even 500,000 mile engine. This vehicle has a little over 300,000 miles, and you know, it's what I call an old man or an old woman, you know. So it is old, but it still starts right up and runs just great. So the complaint on this vehicle is that it's been overheating and that the coolant boils over, and it was suggested that it might be a thermostat. So I went ahead, went in and looked at it. Now, whenever a vehicle comes to me overheating, I check a few different things. I'll check the coolant system, I'll check the water pump, I'll check the thermostat. If I have to, I'll pull the thermostat and I'll drop it in some boiling water to see if it's going to open or close, if it's working correctly. I'll pull the belt and I'll spin the water pump if I'm able to make sure it doesn't have loose bearings, it's not free spinning or making any funky noises or working funny or anything like that. I'll check things like the radiator, see if, like do a pressure test and stuff like that, see if there's any leaks in the system. And then from there, I'll do electronic tests, like check out fans and stuff like that. So that's just kind of a rundown, and I do a little bit more than that too as well as I go along. So on this one though, on the Chevy 3100, the water pump is mounted on the outside of the engine right here, as you can see. And so you remove the pulley, you remove the belt and the pulley, and the water pump comes out of this housing right here. And so another thing that can cause the system to overheat is a belt tensioner not working correctly. And you can look down in here and you can see, if I can get down in there, see where my hand is here? So this is the belt tensioner right down in here. Going to be right underneath your motor mount right here, and you can see it from both sides. So one of the first things that I noticed about this belt was that it's extremely chewed up. There's even some holes in it in some areas. You can see how chewed up this belt is. And so that made me wonder if the water pump, or if the belt tensioner has been working correctly, and if it has the proper tension on the belt to make the water pump turn correctly. If the water pump isn't turning correctly, then the coolant isn't circulating correctly, and your engine's going to overheat. So what do? I identify where my belt tensioner is, first of all. And again, belt tensioner is right here. Okay, here in a second, you're not going to be able to miss it at all. And then I just kind of grabbed the belt to see what type of tension it has. Now watch this. And let me get my hand back down in here. Now that's from the top. I'll get my hand in there and watch this. Okay, so first of all, you should never be able to engage a belt tensioner all the way to the point to where you can pull the belt off by hand. If you can, as a matter of fact, there you go. Here, let me put this belt back on here by hand. There you go. You should never be able to do that. That means that none of these pulleys are turning correctly, and that definitely means that this water pump is not turning correctly, and so that could be your source for overheating. However, I've also found some more issues going underneath here. So the thermostat for this vehicle, for the Chevy 3100, is going to be underneath the throttle body. Which means you're going to need to remove pretty much everything you see here. You're going to need to get a new gasket here, remove your throttle body, and then gain access to your thermostat. And I also believe, in order, if I remember right, it's been a little bit, but in order to easily gain access to your thermostat, you need to remove your exhaust crossover pipe. However, if the owner approves this job, I've got a trick on how to get in there with a wrench and not have to remove the exhaust crossover pipe. So all you've got to do is just remove everything you see up here. But again, it's a lot to disconnect and get apart, and you need a new gasket. So the thermostat gasket is also leaking. Now, I suspect that the reason why the thermostat gasket is leaking is because of all the back pressure that's built up due to the water pump not turning correctly. So as of right now, you would think definitely going to want to get a new belt tensioner, definitely going to want to get a new belt, and definitely going to want to get a new thermostat. But what about the water pump? Well, give me just a second to get this belt off of here, and I'll show you the last and final bit that this vehicle needs. All right, now that I got that belt off of there, let me move my belt tool out of the way here. Now that we've got the belt off of the water pump, we can go ahead and spin it and see what it does. Okay, first of all, you see how it spins freely like that? It's not supposed to spin freely. Second of all, I don't know if you can hear it. Let me get in here and see if you can hear the whine. Okay, second of all, you can hear the bearings whining in there. And third of all, watch the pulley itself. See the wobble in the pulley? So there you go, folks. The reason for overheating is that we need a new water pump. We're gonna need to get in here and get a new thermostat and a new gasket, which is gonna also entitle a new throttle body mounting gasket. And then we definitely need a new belt and a new belt tensioner. So basically, or technically, 3 different jobs: belt tensioner, water pump, and then a thermostat. Shouldn't be too hard to get done at all. So, well, there you go, folks. That's how I figured out this diagnosis. I greatly appreciate you guys coming out and watching my videos and supporting me. If you have any questions, or if you need any help with any of your do-it-yourself projects, just shoot me a shout out in the comments there. We can trade emails, we can trade phone numbers, and I have no problem taking some time and helping walk you through a project or anything that you might have going on. Also, just a little side note here, I realized like this past year, I've got over 300 something videos posted, and the majority of them are like diagnosis and breakdown videos. And so I think here pretty soon, I'm going to do what I can to try to get some better camera equipment, maybe some tripods or something. I thought about maybe shouting out to you guys, maybe seeing if I, came up with some t-shirts and sold them or something like that, so I get some better camera equipment. And then start filming the repair videos, how you put this stuff back together, and with like torque specifications and all that information and stuff like that. So, all right, everybody, well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I am signing off.